Hey guys, John Ribs here with Jarvis alongside. What are your online handles, Jarvis?
I guess I go by Elrac on Good Gamery and Samwise_GG on Moto.
Right. Let me make sure we are recording. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we're looking at the third game of the quarterfinals of the recent MLCS 12. Do you know, is the MLCS finals this weekend?
It's the Player of the Year, yeah.
Player of the Year? Okay. And it's standards, so. What am I doing? Converted mana cost doesn't seem to be working. Creature type. I'll do it. Okay, so we're looking at KBR's deck, which is Pyromancer Ascension, obviously. I'm used to playing the deck in Modern, but not at all in Standard. So, just looking through it personally, I see 12 one-mana cantrips, which seem like obvious auto-includes, 8 burn spells, which is more than I'm used to playing in Modern, but I think Ascension sort of needs that in Standard, because it's not really a combo deck. It's more like counter burn, with Ascension as like valuable card advantage, it seems like. 4 mana league, 4 into the Royal, lots of 4-ofs. And then it has like 5 random powerful cards up top. I don't know how you arrived at the decision that you're meant to have those, but...
I'm going to go on record. I really don't like this list because of those numbers on those cards. 2 Call to Mind is fine, but I wouldn't even main deck a Sphinx or a Pyroclasm really. Main decking Sphinx is bad versus like any black deck essentially, because it just turns on all of their previously dead removal.
Right, that makes sense. And then, do you like prefer to do either 4 Call to Mind or 4C or something like that?
4 Call to Mind is too many. 2 Call to Mind is fine because it clogs your hand very early on.
Okay, so what are you replacing these cards with if you're cutting them then?
If I were to build this deck, I think I would play some number of Sea Beyond.
Okay, so that's 1 blue and it's essentially draw 1. It draws 2 when you shuffle a card into your library.
Yeah, I don't think I would play the full 4 because it doesn't really get you that far ahead. I think I would play like 3 probably.
Alright. I own no copies of that card. So like maybe -1 Pyroclasm and Sphinx main and minus a 4C perhaps? Or a 3C beyond?
Yeah.
Alright. He's only playing 3 copies of Halimar Depths. I find that sort of interesting.
That's stupid. Either you play 0 or you play 4. Here's why. Here's why you might want to play 0. It's just to make yourself immune to Tectonic Edge, period. But I think the upside on that card is too good to not play 4.
Okay.
And I think I would probably just cut an island for it.
Right. And then we're playing 5 fetch lands, I guess, by some, like, arcane thought he's arrived at that is the right number. But I feel like I'd play more with Halimar Depths and Ponder.
I would probably play 6.
Yeah.
But 5 versus 6 is not a huge difference.
Right, yeah. Doesn't seem like a big deal. Maybe since he's playing Sphinx up top, he, I don't know. That seems like a weird way to justify it. I'm going to stop trying. Let's look at the sideboard. 3 copies of Spell's Guide and 1 Torpor Orb.
Essentially 4 anti-twin cards.
Yeah, and I like that he's doing 1 Torpor Orb.
Right, you can board Orb versus all the Birthing Pod decks that try to attack your Ascension.
Makes sense. And it also, like, it would make no sense to do 3 Torpor Orb, 1 Spell's Guide, because Spell's Guide gets better in multiples instead of getting worse.
Yes and no. A lot of the twin decks have a lot of twisted images, so I'm not that enamored of Spell's Guide.
Oh, that's true. Makes a lot of sense. We have one more Consecrated Sphinx and a giant 5/5 flyer dude. I don't know what he's coming against exactly, but the Shroud creature seems a lot better than the Consecrated Sphinx, which just turns on Doomblade and so on. Although post-board, they're probably out of the deck. So.
It really depends on what you expect your opponent to do. Like, if I were playing blue-black, I probably would just leave in most of my removal, just because I expect them to board in, well, maybe not all of it, but some number of it, just to cover my bases, to kill a giant idiot like that.
Right.
Or,
and
what a lot of the Pyromancer decks do is board in just one or twin as well.
Oh, that makes sense. And I'm assuming one of the strengths of Ascension in the format is you give your opponent a lot of dead cards pre-board.
Yeah.
And so even if they are trying to board out creature removal, maybe they can't find enough to bring in place of it anyway. I don't know. 2 Azure Mage.
I actually prefer Azure Mage to these giant idiots because they arrive much cheaper, so you don't lose a lot of, mana on trading, an Azure Mage for a Doomblade. And if it goes unopposed, it's almost as good at winning the game because you just draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Negate, 2 negate and 2 flash freeze is extra counter spells. I don't know if you'd bring in flash freeze against. Maybe both of these come in against Twin. I don't know.
Both of them do come in versus Twin, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And then 3 more Pyroclasm for creature decks. Seems simple enough. Okay, so that's our Ascension list. Besides these like high cards and Plasm, it seems like a pretty normal list. There isn't that much room in how you build something like Pyromancer Ascension. You just need all the 4-ofs.
A lot of the Brits I talked to played Pyromancer hybridized with Twin.
Main deck or?
Yeah, just main. Just so you would have another line that people weren't really expecting. I'm not really a huge fan of that, again, because it makes removal live.
It makes some sense, but I don't know how much. I think I'd much rather play Twin with a little bit of Ascension than Ascension with a little bit of Twin.
That's fair.
This is our Twin list. It's very similar to the list I was just looking at. I think Gitaxian Probe is something the other list didn't have. The other list had a 4th copy of Dispel, and it had like 1 more Twisted Image.
So
that I think is. Oh, I think the Spellskite wasn't named in the other list. Let's just load the other list. Yeah, no Spellskite's main.
So the lists are very close, yeah. Ooh, we want to look at Sakura.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, otherwise pretty close. So there isn't too much new to say, except maybe how it interacts with Ascension, because that's relevant for the matchup.
Yeah.
You were saying that there just isn't much that does.
Yeah, I feel like this list really has to try to combo up by turn 5 with 1 Dispel. Otherwise, an active Ascension is just going to put this deck away.
Alright. It's interesting. He's playing Into the Core, exile 2 target artifacts over... What's the card that costs the same amount and just destroys all artifacts?
There isn't a card like that standard.
There isn't?
It's 2 green you're thinking of, probably.
Oh, right. Okay.
Anyways, you also want that card for Tempered Steel, which is actually not an easy matchup for Twin.
They get Spellskite. I assume that you want it in a lot of places where Spellskite is going to be an issue for a team.
If people are really smart, they'll just play 1 Spellskite.
You can't cast it. You could hit your own shrine
Yeah, you
and
can
then
hit your own
break the
shrine.
shrine in response. Or something.
But in a lot of post-war games, you shave on the number of shrines because it's really clunky.
Huh, I'm surprised by that. I would think that the biggest issue for the deck is drawing both of these.
Oh yeah, this list is pretty standard. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to wind up this video and then we'll head into the games real soon.